Much for joining us today. And in our today's edition, we are going to talk about why women stay in an abusive relationship. And I'm glad to have Dr. Waweru, who is going to talk to us about it. Daktari, karibu and introduce yourself.
Asante sana, I'm Samuel.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Sam.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Samuel. Welcome in our today's edition. Kindly, if you just tell us what makes women stay into an abusive relationship?
There are a number of factors that contribute to women staying in an abusive relationship, and most likely and more so is both parties, at the end of the day, might be able to stay in an abusive relationship. Not necessarily women, but also men are able to do the same thing. But when we shift our focus and focus on women, is they tend to hold things much time, and they tend to believe that things will be much better. And at the end of the day, they think that once they leave that abusive relationship, they are the ones that are going to look like black sheep of that particular relationship. So that one is a contributing factor to why they are able to stay in that abusive relationship. For one, they are hoping that the relationship will be okay. And number two, they are avoiding fingers being shown to them that they are the ones maybe on the fault for them to be able to walk out of that relationship, or even to be able to seek for help out of that an abusive relationship.
What are some of the signs that are common in an abusive relationship?
Some of the signs of an abusive relationship is withdrawal. The partner might be able to withdraw. They don't want to be seen with a particular partner in public. They want to spend time alone. They don't want to go out there. So they really keep themselves unkept, and they don't want also to have visitors, because they tend to think that once you have a visitor, they'll be able to ask, hey, how is your partner doing? How is your relationship doing? So at the end of the day, they are afraid of this thing. So they withdraw more.
Yeah. Do you think when someone is abusive, or let's say is sexually abusive, might contribute to that factor?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
No, because sexual orientation or sexual abuse tends to have a different impact depending on how you have been brought up and what you believe is an abuse as per se, as to you as an individual, and to what the society knows as an abuse sexually.
Yeah. And do you think that most women want to stay because of financial crisis, or maybe they just want to stay because they want to protect the family image back at home?
What keeps women glued to that abusive relationship is what are they, or how much time have they invested in that particular relationship? Because if you find someone has been in a relationship for 1 or 2 years, they might be able to withdraw very fast. But if you find that someone has been in a relationship for more 2, 3, 4, 5 years plus, they might be able to think otherwise in terms of, why should I be able to withdraw in this? And how much time am I supposed to withdraw, or how much time am I supposed to spend to be able to withdraw out this? So they depending on the number of years that they have been in that particular relationship, it contributes to them to withdraw or not to be able to withdraw, because it tends to, once women have a family, in terms of you have children, they tend to think much more of the children and not think of themselves.
Yeah. But what do you think causes these men to be abusive to these women? What might trigger them to do that?
Number one is usually the upbringing, because the society is not able to bring men right now, but it is just able to bring young or older boys in the society.
Mm.
So
Mm.
the way men have been brought up are able to contribute to this. Number two
Yeah.
is the way the society is just wired. Number one,
Mm.
the society
Mhm.
tends to always be able to think that men
Mhm.
are not susceptible to such issues. So
Yeah.
majority of the way men have been brought up, because we usually have,
Mhm.
or there are usually a lot of absent fathers in
Yeah.
the current society. So that is able to change the way men think about the relationship. Number two, it is usually the way their fathers really treated their mothers.
Mhm.
So if their mothers were never treated in the right way, then the men also will not be able to treat their particular wives in the right way that they are supposed to do that.
Yeah. Fine. What do you think are some of the safety tips that when you can do when you experience such in a relationship?
Sorry?
What are some of the safety tips that one can do if you experience such in a relationship?
Number one, I think both partners need to be able to have a common friend they can be able to share, and they
Yes.
can be able to speak to in terms of during when something is not working well. So you need to have a support in terms of, you need to have a common friend that you and your partner are able to share whatever
Yeah.
is happening. And you need also to be able to build trust, because what kills a lot of such abusive relationships from people talking it out is they're not able to trust one another. Because the current
Yeah.
situation is you talk something concerning your relationship, and the same thing is spoken out there in
Yeah.
terms of now your secret is out there that your relationship is not working, and it is not working because of A, B, C, D. So you need to have a support. You
Yeah.
need to have a support for you to be able to speak or to share with your partner in terms of what is happening. And number two,
What?
you also
Yes.
need to belong somewhere. You need to belong to society, church. You need to be able to belong there. If it is a support group, you need also to be able to belong there, so that you can be able to share more, and you can be able to learn even to those people who have been in previous relationships that have been abusive before.
What do you think someone can do to help their friends, their brothers, their sisters who are in that abusive relationship?
I think the best thing we need to do is we need to give a listening ear. Because when one is in an abusive relationship,
Yes.
people tend not to be able to listen to them, and they tend to point fingers to them, the reason why or what they have been able to do that has not
Yeah.
made their relationship to be able to work. So we need to be able to give a listening ear. Sometimes it is not a matter of the advice you'll be able to give, but you just need to let that person let out what they have been going through in that particular time. Then once you are able to give a listening ear, you'll be able to be in a better position to build the trust, and also to build the reason why they should be able to open up more, and why they should tend to go and listen to you in terms of the help that you can be able to give.
Don't you think listening to them, maybe to some people, they take advantage of that to ruin that relationship completely?
As whatever I had shared initially, I said for you to be able, or what you need to be able to do is you need to have a support. We created this, and I had initially stated that you need to have someone that you and your partner can be able to speak to. So, and this particular person is not supposed to be a person as per se, but they need to be a couple. Because if you're going to be in a relationship, or you're going to be in a marriage, and your friends are going to be single, then what kind of advice will you be able to be getting from them? So you need a couple that you can be able to speak to them. That is number one. Number two, don't go and talk to them as individuals. Always talk to them when they are both of them. In such a situation, no one will be able to take advantage. But if you're a woman and you're in an abusive relationship, and you go out there and speak to this particular man, they'll be able to give you a shoulder to lean on. And one thing will lead to the other. And trust will be able to be broken, and betrayal will be able to creep in. So you need to speak to someone as a couple. Don't go there as an individual. That will be able to ruin literally everything.
Mm-hmm. What
Yes.
about those women who are physically, as in they're physically assaulted, and then they just want to stay put because financial problem? What can you advise to them? Because most of them think, I need to be with this man because I'm financially down.
We need to realize one thing, that relationship is not about finance, and life is more than finance. It is
Yes.
actually what you're able to get from this particular relationship. Because you as an individual, you as a woman or a man, you can be able to get your own financial muscle. So it does not make you dependent on the other party, and it does not give them a guarantee to be able to abuse you just because they have the financial capability to be able to do this. As far as you have your both hands, you can be able to achieve more. So this notion of, I need to stay with this guy because he's supporting me or he's financially stable and I am okay, we need to get this narrative out of our mind, and we need to realize that relationship is more than financial benefit. Yes.
What about if there are kids involved in this relationship?
Parenting and relationship should be able to be taken two different entities, because
Yes.
parenting is a matter of the husband, is a matter of the father and the mother to the children that are already brought up in this particular relationship. But in terms of the relationship, we are talking about the husband and the wife, or the girlfriend and the boyfriend. So those two different entities should be able to be split different, and parenting should be strict, that you're able to go to raise your children irrespective of your differences as a husband and as wife. But you need to take your responsibilities as the mother and the father to the particular children that were able to be brought up from that particular relationship.
Thank you so much, Dr. Maybe one advice or two that you would want to give to these people who stay in an abusive relationship, thinking that all is gone, they have to stay there, and then in the end, it is the worst that is going to happen.
The first thing that we need to realize is life is much more important. Number two, the time that you go to that particular relationship or that particular marriage that is abusive, I am so sure you are of age. So if you go to a relationship, let's say at 25, so the last 25 years, the way you survived and the years that are able to come ahead of you are supposed to be to give you the better part of your life. You're not supposed to give your destiny to someone just because they are abusive and just because they are supportive. You need to put your feet down, and they also need to realize and also know who you are, not what you are.
Yes.
So we need to realize, or we need to understand people based on how they are and not what they are. So if someone is financially stable and someone is there, is supportive, but then they are abusive, you need to differentiate the two, and you need to realize that you deserve much better than the abuses and the financial muscle that these individuals are able to give out there.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sami Waweru, for having us through this conversation. I think so many people have learned about it, and we will be meeting and sharing with you on this platform. Kindly, wherever you are, don't stay in that abusive relationship. Know who you are, what you want to be, and what you think can be done. Ask for help and maintain that discipline, and all is well.
Yes,